For horror fans, Bill Skarsgård is it. Over the past few years, the Swedish actor, who by the way comes from a family of actors, has emerged as Hollywood's go-to actor for bringing nightmares to life on screen.
The most evil, demonic smile I think I've seen in all of horror.
And you know what? I would go as far as to say that he might just be better than legendary greats like Doug Jones or Robert Englund. And yes, I have my reasons for it. From his breakout turn as Pennywise in It, to his transformations in The Crow and Nosferatu as the titular characters, Mr. Skarsgård has proven time and again that he doesn't just play monsters, he transforms into them. Think Heath Ledger, if you will, but can also go from skinny to bulky in a matter of months, like Christian Bale in Machinist and Batman Begins. In his own words, transformation has always been very appealing to me. With Pennywise, that became my ultimate transformation.
What's the transformation?
Now with Orlok, I really enjoy transforming as much as I humanly can, making him the spiritual heir to legends like Lon Chaney and Boris Karloff. Could we then say that these roles are as much drawn to him as he is drawn to these roles? Well, hell yeah. But the thing to note here is that not just horrific monsters, Bill has a very good range and versatility and is capable of doing much more.
Someone else is down here.
So, without extending the intro any longer, let's check out what makes him one of a kind. Skarsgård's journey to horror royalty truly began with Pennywise the Dancing Clown, or Robert Bob Gray, the trans-dimensional entity that feeds on children from Stephen King's It. Taking on Pennywise in Andy Muschietti's 2017 film was not going to be easy, because the character had already been made iconic by Tim Curry in the 1990 miniseries. Adding to the challenge was the fact that Skarsgård was just 26, and relatively unknown in Hollywood back then, when he was cast.
There was a strange balance that he brought. You know, a strange energy, because he's very childlike. He has these big eyes, sort of childish, cute face, but he brings a darkness that is very unsettling.
He later admitted that during filming, he felt enormous pressure. Why did the director cast me? I can't do this, he recalled thinking.
What if this is a disaster, and what if your performance is a disaster?
But as soon as the movie hit theatres, it became clear why his Pennywise was something special, and why he was a star in the making, albeit a star that gives you nightmares.
What we found with Bill was that his instincts were so perfect and so aligned with the way Andy saw Pennywise.
What made Skarsgård's Pennywise so unforgettable? The short answer is that he delivered a masterclass in uncanny theatricality. Rather than mimic Curry's campy clown, Skarsgård created Pennywise as a childlike yet monstrous entity, veering from playfully silly to shockingly vicious in a heartbeat.
The inner balance of someone who can look very cute and sweet and childlike, but is hiding something terrifying. And when I saw Bill for the first time, I saw it immediately.
I mean, his bold choices like drooling puddles of saliva or erupting into hyena-like giggles could have looked absurd in lesser hands. Yet he wielded these quirks to make Pennywise all the more terrifying. One of Skarsgård's secret weapons as Pennywise was literally his own face. While the character's grotesque grin and roaming eyes seem like CGI effects, they're largely not. I kid you not, this guy can naturally make his eyes drift in two different directions and flash a grin that stretches nearly ear to ear. He has described Pennywise as an almost viral presence that stuck with him and even haunted his dreams. After wrapping the movie, he went home to Sweden and experienced bizarre, vivid nightmares every night, in which either he was Pennywise roaming his hometown, or he was confronting Pennywise and yelling at the creature to leave. Needless to say, the role had seeped into his subconscious like a toxin, and yet he's back to playing it in the new TV show. While Pennywise made Skarsgård a horror icon, it would be a criminal error to think he's a one-note performer who only shines under heavy makeup. In fact, one of the most impressive aspects of Skarsgård's career is the range he displays within the horror/thriller genre.
Apart from being an incredibly talented actor, he has an amazing control over his body and some weird control of his face.
For example, right after It, Skarsgård took on a very different kind of eerie role in Hulu's series Castle Rock. In season 1 of that Stephen King-inspired show, he played a prisoner known only as the Kid, caked in dirt and whispering cryptic lines. I remember this one scene in which Skarsgård's character asks a simple question to his nervous lawyer.
Has it begun
With just 4 lines of dialogue total, Skarsgård became the reason for some unbearable tension through micro-expressions like darting eyes, a stiff posture, a sudden flinch at the sound of a phone ringing. It's the polar opposite of Pennywise's in-your-face theatrics, and it proves Skarsgård can terrify with quiet restraint just as effectively as he can with grand guignol flair. Skarsgård also has the ability to make audiences think he's the monster even when he isn't. Talent that filmmaker Zach Cregger cleverly used in the awesome 2022 thriller Barbarian. Here, he plays Keith, a polite but awkward guy who winds up double-booked in a rental house with a female stranger. A large part of that is because Keith is played by Bill Skarsgård. Throughout the first act, every tilted smile or overly earnest attempt to put the heroine at ease makes us suspect Keith is a psychopath in waiting, because we know what Skarsgård is capable of.
I like thematically dark stories. I really responded to Zach and his vision and exploring the sort of unpredictability of these characters.
Additionally, Skarsgård isn't limited to supernatural monsters either. You see, he's also played disturbingly realistic evil as well. In the 2020 Netflix drama The Devil All the Time, he played an emotionally scarred World War II veteran who believes violence might be the will of God. The role lets Skarsgård show a more human darkness without any clown makeup or vampire fangs, just a man warped by trauma. Similarly, in the black comedy thriller Villains from 2019, Skarsgård played a bumbling criminal where he played with his comedic timing, which was again on point, but I guess what works best for him is the fact that he's... Bill Skarsgård's craft can be owed to his full-bodied physical commitment to every role, and I'm not talking about his elastic face and gangly limbs. You see, his transformation goes much deeper, and he often literally alters his voice, posture, and even smell to inhabit a creature.
And then you play around with microphones, and you can like, the closer it is and the further away it is. Like, I knew sort of how we could use the microphone as an added tool for it.
For instance, to play the ancient vampire Count Orlok in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu remake, he underwent perhaps his most exhaustive metamorphosis yet. He spent hours in the makeup chair to become the gaunt, cadaverous figure, complete with a bald cap, elongated ears, and talon-like fingernails. But he didn't stop at the prosthetics. According to the film's team, Skarsgård arrived on set with this really pungent aroma, and well, he stank like a decaying immortal might, which meant that his Orlok did not only look, but practically smelled like a bloodthirsty vampire. Co-star Nicholas Hoult said this about the man's voice in the movie. "It was unlike anything I'd heard before. It was chilling to me." And that's because Skarsgård had trained with an opera singer to drop his vocal register by a full octave for the role. Such is this man's dedication to his work. On set, he would cause deep, guttural sounds.
There's a lot of me going like, whoa, just between every take.
And guess what? These were so unearthly that his own brother, actor Gustaf Skarsgård, was startled when he visited and heard Bill on the set and heard him growling in character. Skarsgård also studied movement and body language meticulously for Orlok. He has mentioned exploring Buto, a form of Japanese corpse dancing, to inspire the vampire's stiff, unnatural motions. Buto is an avant-garde dance style where performers move as if reanimated or mummified, often very slowly and in contorted poses. Incorporating these ideas, he made his Orlok move in much more precise and much more rigid and slow ways than a normal human. In fact, when he first saw himself fully decked out as Nosferatu, even Skarsgård was frightened and said this: "I was terrified just looking at the image," saying the creature staring back at him looked so different from me, way more so than Pennywise. Even when the transformations aren't as fantastical, the young man gives it his all. For his role as the avenging anti-hero Eric Draven in The Crow, Skarsgård took his preparation to unusual extremes. The character of Draven is a resurrected rock musician, thin and spectral, so Skarsgård decided to adopt a strict diet to achieve a lean, almost otherworldly physique. How strict, you ask? Well, according to director Rupert Sanders, Skarsgård subsisted on nothing but raw steak tartare and eggs for the entire shoot. Every day, the actor would slurp down red, wet beef and bright yellow raw eggs for his meals, which, you will agree, is hardly the most appetizing menu, but it kept him in lean shape and perhaps added to the Crow's feral vibe. This willingness to alter his body, to be uncomfortable, to do whatever it takes physically, is exactly what sets Skarsgård apart and makes him an extreme version of a method actor, almost similar to the transformations of Christian Bale for movies like The Machinist from 2004, where he was ridiculously skinny, and then a year later in 2005, he did Batman Begins, where he is bulked up. Part of his success is that Skarsgård genuinely loves the artistic challenge these roles present. He admits he's drawn to darker characters. The darker characters also tend to be more complex. More mental gymnastics are needed, he explained. Indeed, he approaches roles like puzzles to be solved.
Totally terrifying and also so cool and impressive, and just a testament to how much work went into building that character up, both of course on Bill's end, but also the teams that worked on, creating him physically.
If this being is ancient or inhuman, what drives them? How do they think? This intellectual curiosity keeps his performances thoughtful and layered, while also preventing the monsters from devolving into flat caricatures. Interestingly, the man didn't set out to become the creature feature guy. Coming from the esteemed Skarsgård acting family, Bill has always charted his own path. It was never my particular goal to be the creature actor, if you will, he told an interviewer. Instead, he often looks to non-human inspiration. For Nosferatu, he mentioned studying predatory animals to channel Orlok's ferocity, finding that a cleaner source of inspiration than copying, say, Bela Lugosi's Dracula. This approach keeps his portrayals original. That said, even Skarsgård has wondered if he might be overdoing the nightmare gig. After finishing Nosferatu, he admitted he thought it might be the nail in the coffin on my monster roles. Playing Orlok was such an all-consuming plunge into pure evil that he felt perhaps it was time to step back from creatures for a bit. He was initially hesitant to reprise Pennywise for the prequel series Welcome to Derry because he felt he'd done what he wanted with that character. But, to the relief of It fans, he ultimately agreed to return as Pennywise for the HBO series, after some persuasion by the Muschietis, the siblings who directed It.
Can you go as far on television as you did in the films?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore, man.
It's not the G-rated Pennywise.
No.
Amid all this talk of monsters and darkness, I must tell you that off-screen, Bill is soft-spoken, thoughtful, and often flashes a shy smile.
It's not necessarily sexual.
I mean, I don't mind it at all.
I love it.
His young co-stars from It have said how he would be careful with them during intense scenes and tried his best to protect the kids from any discomfort off-screen.
Would you rather eat a booger pizza or kiss Pennywise on the mouth?
Kiss Pennywise on the mouth. What? Bill Skarsgård is gorgeous. He is.
So yeah, that's Bill Skarsgård for you. I hope you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more.